In this lesson, we will be talking about how to solve a proportion. So let's review for just a second. We've been talking about how two equivalent ratios will create a proportion. And so I have two ratios here, 6 over 14 and 9 over 21. And I want to know if they are equal to each other or proportional. And so one of our methods was to use the cross product method. The cross means we're talking diagonals, and the product means I'm multiplying. So the cross product of 6 times 21 comes out to be 126. So if I do the other cross product, cross means diagonal in this case, product means I'm multiplying. I take 14 times 9 and I get 126. So those are equal to each other. They are proportional. I want you to do this one without me. It's a review. We want to determine if the quantities are proportional. Are these ratios equal to each other? So you're going to do this cross product. You're going to do that cross product. And you're going to decide if they are equal or not. So go ahead and pause me while you work and come back when you're ready to check. All right, so here's what I came up with. My first cross product here, when I multiplied, I got 14.88. My second cross product here, when I multiplied, I got 14.88. So these are equal to each other. They are a proportion. So now what do we do if we know the two ratios are equal and we have 3 of the numbers, but we are missing the last one? Well, let's think about our cross product method. We know that this cross product, 7 times 16, which happens to be 112, has to equal that cross product. So some number times 28 has to equal the 112 cross product. Last year, you may have solved one-step equations. That just means that I'm going to divide. My fraction bar means to divide. Let me put a little division sign. If I divide this side by 28 and I divide that side by 28, the 28s are going to cancel and I'm left with y on one side, and 112 divided by 28 is 4. So y is 4 in this case. To check that out, all I have to do is substitute, put a 4 here. Does 4 times 28 equal the 112 that it should? It does. Eventually, when you do enough proportions, the process becomes such a habit that you automatically look for the cross product. 15 times 15 is 225. And to isolate your variable, you'll simply divide by the other number. So you would take your cross product, divide by the only other number you see based on the algebra we just did in the other slide. And 225 divided by 5 means that W equals 45. And you can check that. You could put, instead of a W right here, you could put a 45, and you could check that 5 times 45 equals 225. All right, let's try this one on your own. I'm going to give you some hints. First, you have to find this cross product, and then you have to take the cross product and do something with the 70. I want you to pause me while you work and come back when you're ready to check. So I worked on my cross product. I took, let me change colors here. I took 20 times 28 and found my cross product. From the algebra I showed you a couple slides ago, I know to isolate my variable, I'm going to divide by the only other number I see. And I think B is 8. but I could totally figure that out for sure. I could put an 8 right here. Is this cross product, 8 times 70, is that equal to the 560 of the first cross product? And it is. All right, so this one is all you, no hints. I want you to stop, work it, and come back when you have an answer. So I would start with my first diagonal. 52 times 9 is my first cross product. Oops. And that is 468. I look for the only other number I see. In order to isolate my variable, I would divide by that. And I think the answer is M equals 58 and 5/10. You could totally check that by substituting. Try this one. I want you to pause while you're working it and come back for checking. You would search for your cross product. Ooh, I got off a little bit. And you would take 5 times 9, which is 45. You would search for the only other number available and divide by that. I think X will be 22 and 5/10. Last one, make this one your best one. Pause me while you work and then come back for checking. Look for your cross product. This one I can't do in my head. So 24 times 45, that cross product equals 1080. Search for the only other number you have right there. You're going to divide by that in order to isolate your variable. And your answer, X, is 60. All right, congratulations. You have solved proportions.